Hello, my lovely angels. This is your girl Sam back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Hi. One of my subbies has been requesting for girly girl perfumes. Now, if you see my table right now, it's pink, white, and gold. Moving on to some maroon, so it's looking very pretty over here. What's funny is that I picked them up like randomly, right? Like any perfume I thought was like a girly girl perfume because it's a little difficult to, for me to choose like girly girl perfumes because I'm not so much into it. The person who asked me specifically and has been asking me for quite some time, she specifically said that she loves Ari by Ariana. Actually, she likes Ariana Grande fragrances. And from all her fragrances, I only have Ari with me, which is here. And I haven't used much of it. I mean, I've used quite a bit of it. And I do like the perfume, but it's just that it's not something I gravitate towards. Frankly speaking, I probably bought this because the bottle is like really pretty. So I thought, let me just make one video for you where I have a few girly girl perfumes. These are not necessarily candy perfumes or sweet perfumes or it just gives you a youthful girly girl vibe. Now, I don't like all these fragrances, like they're not my 10 out of 10, so please don't assume that these are my top favorite girly girl perfumes. These are just the girly girl perfumes I have in my collection right now. Let's start with the first one, and this is a 10 out of 10. This is from Ahmad Al Maghribi, and this is called Cherry. And Cherry is supposedly a dupe for Dior Miss Cherie, and I think that's what they were trying to go for, and call the perfume Cherry and assume that people will realize that it is a dupe for that. But unfortunately, people started assuming that this is a dupe for, it's a cherry perfume, right? Now, the notes I have in front of me are wrong. So what I'm going to tell you is that this perfume smells like strawberries and lemon in the opening, along with some sweet notes to the dry down with a little bit of creaminess towards the end. But mostly it's a super fresh, super intriguing perfume. If you remember the OG Dior Miss Cherie, which is discontinued by the way, people have been looking, scouring the earth to find a dupe for it. This is the closest one I've come across, and that's why I like this perfume. It is a predominantly fruity perfume. Just think of strawberry and lemon together. Really sweet strawberry. It cannot be a tart strawberry. But think of like this beautiful strawberry with that beautiful strong perfume of strawberry, along with some lemon, zestiness, and how fresh it would become, and ultimately it dries down to something a little bit powdery, a little bit sweet, but still remains quite fresh fruity. The perfume also has cherry, by the way. I list out the notes. It does have like a lot of fruits and everything, but if you just want to know how it smells like strawberry and lemon. For me, this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. I love it so much because I love the original, the Dior Miss Cherie. I've been looking for a good dupe for it, finally found it. I'm sure I'm going to finish this bottle. This is a 50 ml bottle, not 10 ml. It's a 50 ml bottle and it was priced at $20 for me. I'm sure in your country it's not $20. Maybe it'll be $25, $30 max, And if you like that kind of DNA of Dior Miss Cherie, go for it. The longevity, surprisingly, of this was like crazy. 8 hours, almost 7 to 8 hours, let's say. And the projection is like 2 to 3 feet. I think you can wear this like during daytime, during any season. Yeah, I think it's fine. You can wear this in winter as well because the dry down, it just becomes like quite sweet. And I think that negates the ultra citrusness or ultra freshness of this perfume. Next, we have Qissah Delicious. This is from Paris Corner and it is from the Qissah range. Now, if you know the other two Qissahs, one is pink and one is blue. I'm sure the pink one would fall under this category of girly girl perfumes because it's a dupe for Yara. I personally do not have it because I do not like the DNA of Yara. I know Latafa has released the new one. I'm going to try and get it as soon as possible. But for now, hold on because it's not released right now in the UAE. It's only released in the Latafa USA website. What does Qissah Delicious smell like? It literally smells like orange cream biscuit. I'm going to put a picture over here so that you know exactly the biscuit I'm talking about. It has a little bit of chocolate, but it's not like dominantly chocolate perfume. I would categorize this as an edible gourmand. The top notes for this are dark chocolate, orange and whipped cream. The heart notes of coconut, marshmallow and jasmine, and the base notes of vanilla, softwoods and white musk. Guys, I'm not going to speak about these perfumes in details because I've done the review. If you want the full review, you need to go and see those reviews. These are just, it is supposed to be a listing and just briefly describing all these perfumes. Now, if you like perfumes that smell like Kasamat Ibar, that's like a very lotus biscuit kind of perfume. Think of the lotus biscuit, but it has the orange cream in the center. It's extremely gourmand. You get like a lot of vanilla in this, and the vanilla is like the vanilla essence that you use in cooking, right? In baking and stuff. It's a very easy to like perfume. I mean, you might not necessarily want to wear it yourself. If you're not into edible gourmands, you're not going to like it. But you'll definitely smell a person and think they're a very, very girly girl person, you know? This is a super feminine fragrance, and although this would ideally be used in fall winter, because it's very mild, it's almost like the consistency of a body mist and not really a perfume. It stays very close to the skin and it will not overwhelm you or anybody around you, which is why I think this is an all-weather, all-day perfume. This for me now has become a 9 out of 10. I'm going to keep editing my notes because I keep forgetting what rating I've given it. The projection, unfortunately, is like 1 to 2 feet, and the longevity, I would say, is it stays. It stays for like 6 to 7 hours. It stays on your skin, very close to your skin. But if you want like a perfume that projects, this is not the one for you. But definitely, if people pass by you, or you will still leave like a slight little bit of a trail behind you. And if people come close to you in your little bubble, people can smell you for sure. Next, we have another one from Paris Corner, and this is called Bayn Al Absar. Now, this was released as a dupe for Guidance by Amouage. The bottle is very pretty. I mean, you can't see it from here, but the top portion is like lavender purple, something like what I'm wearing right now, and the pink. You know, like I'm kind of dressed like the Kiali perfume, right? The candy. I keep calling it Candy Crush. I know it's not Candy Crush. It's Candy Rock Candy something. Now, this guy. The opening is so bad, and I'm pretty sure I've got a bad batch because everybody who has the good batch, they all say that they don't get this super tart, almost like spoiled perfume opening. Unfortunately, in my case, it smells like pickle juice. The opening is exactly like pickle juice. But once it starts drying down, it's a pretty fragrance. If you can find the right batch, which is not like mine. I'm sure this is a batch problem because I know people in the review for this perfume had said that they also have been getting it. And then some people said they did not. They got like a beautiful tangy fruit in the opening. Mine is like it literally smells like pickle juice. But slowly it starts settling down and it becomes like a powdery floral, but in a very youthful way. It's not like vintage or old school or anything. The top notes are nashi pear, pink pepper, and olibanum. Middle notes are saffron, jasmine, sambac, teff rose, and hazelnut. And the base notes are sandalwood, vanilla, amber, and musk. Honestly speaking, like I understand that like they have mentioned the nashi pear in the opening, but it doesn't smell like nashi pear, at least not mine, right? Once that, give it like 15-20 minutes, it's getting better. Since maceration, because initially I remember that ugly note was like for 30 minutes in the opening, now it's like reducing, right? You can't smell the pink pepper, you can't smell the olibanum. All you smell in the opening is nashi pear, artificial one, saffron, and all the florals, but they all come in like a chunk of floral notes and not like individual teff rose or jasmine sambac or anything. The hazelnut is there, but barely, but you can, like if you really try to identify the hazelnut, you'll smell it. And in the base note, the sandalwood, amber, vanilla, musk, these are the ones that like are predominantly there along with the floral notes. And that's your Bayn Al Absar. It's not I don't know, I mean, I have the Guidance. It is not bad, but I don't agree with the ultra hype of that fragrance. Like it's like the best perfume you've ever smelled, or it's like one of the most unique florals. No, it's like a very simple sandalwood musk floral, which is, I don't know, like kind of also smells slightly vintage to my nose, like the Guidance, not this one. So although I like the perfume and I'll probably wear it and finish it. I mean, I'm talking about the Guidance, which I have like a 10 ml, right? I'll finish it for sure, but it's not a perfume that I'll buy a full bottle of. Like, I don't see the hype in it. Bayn Al Absar, on the other hand, because it's that cheap, this is for approximately $45 and almost does the same thing. You can't compare. You cannot call this a dupe for Guidance though, right? The dry down is very similar to Guidance, but the opening is very, very different. I would give this a 7 out of 10, not more than that. The projection is 2 feet, and the longevity I would say is like 7+ hours. It stays, this perfume, right? And it's not bad. if you like this kind of DNA, but it's definitely a girly girl fragrance. You can wear this anytime during the year, anytime during the day. Next, of course, we have Lamsat Harir. Look at how dark the juice is now. Oh my goodness. This is your Haba Baba chewing gum and Coca-Cola. Mixed together, it's your perfume. It's supposed to be a dupe for, I don't know if it was intentional or if it was like by mistake. It's supposed to be duping Armani C. Every time I wear this, people ask me if I'm wearing Armani C and they compliment me like all the time. Now, I remember I bought this bottle from a petrol station long time ago when I was not even into perfumes. But the gentleman at the counter was very sweet, and I know they get commissions and everything, and he was being very sweet. He's like, ma'am, please buy one perfume. I tried all of them and this was the only one I liked from that, and I picked it up, and it was like dirt cheap. It was like less than $15 or so when I picked it up from the petrol station. Now it's even cheaper, by the way. And then every time I wore this perfume, because I took it to the office, I did not keep it at home. I was like, I'll finish it up in the office. And every time I would wear it, people would give me compliments. And then I started wearing it more and more. And now it's been like 3 years or more, and I'm obsessed with this perfume. I love it so much. If you would think of, let's think of how you would smell if you put Coca-Cola and Haba Baba together. It's like having that chewing gum, the bubble gum, and then drinking cola on top. Same feeling. Beautiful for spring, summer. I am nuts, so I wear this during winter days as well. The top notes for this are grapes and blackcurrant, middle notes of tuberose, heliotrope and jasmine, and the base notes of musk, patchouli and cedar. So you know where the bubblegum feeling is coming from, right? It's the tuberose. So for those who do not know, tuberose can either turn out to be really indolic and strong, and then you get that actual tuberose smell, or it can turn very bubblegummy. In this, it's like a proper bubblegum scent. The projection for this is a good 2 to 3 feet. The longevity is 8+ hours. It's crazy. I love this perfume. It's a 10 out of 10 all my life. It's gonna stay in my collection. It's super feminine and it's super girly girl. Next we have one. Now this one would be a girly girl, but a little bit with a sexy appeal, right? This one is Ameerat al Arab from Asdaf. I was like, is it Ard al Zafran? You know, it's Asdaf. So Asdaf is a sister company for Latafa. Now, this guy, I keep it at the back because the label is crooked, and if you remember, I have this OCD with labels. The whole bottle is like a velvet bottle, but you can surely see what's inside, you know, and I have finished like till here. Yeah. This perfume is the same as your Khadlaj's date night perfume. It is the same Play-Doh note with some florals. The prominent floral in this is jasmine. But you know, for some odd reason, I also get some amount of gardenia, which is not listed over here. And then you have like a lot of fresh citruses. The fresh citruses are not pronounced, so the perfume is predominantly the Play-Doh note and the white florals. The top notes for this are citrus and bergamot, middle notes of white musk and aloe vera, and the base notes of jasmine, musk, woody notes and oud. Now, the oud is, I have no idea where the oud is in this. I can't smell it at all. Recently, I've got another perfume which smells exactly like this, and I'm so disappointed because it's literally the same juice packaged into 2 different packaging. I'll do it in the next haul video because I don't even remember the name anymore. But I remember the name is very similar to this bottle's name, you know. So the name is even similar. Anywho, so the Play-Doh note is something I like. I don't appreciate like most of my perfumes having the Play-Doh note. What made date night unique was that I was gravitating towards it the most because I could mix it with a lot of different perfumes. This one is not like a layering perfume. It's already a strong white floral with that Play-Doh note and slight bit of citrus freshness. It's still a very girly girl perfume. I would rate this perfume, I had given it an 8 out of 10. I'll stick to that. The projection is like a good 3 feet or more, and the longevity is 8+ hours. This is a monster projection, and it's a very girly girl fragrance, but in a very sexy way. Like these kind of perfumes, I call them the femme fatale fragrances. Next we have Jazzab Gold by Ard al Zafran. I had purchased this specifically because a lot of people recommended this to me, number one, because they know I like La Nuit Trésor a lot. And because I was making a dupe video, I had asked for people's recommendations. I had made one video of all the dupes for La Nuit Trésor that I could find, right? And this was one of them. But I had described this as a youthful younger sister of La Nuit Trésor, and it is just that. It's an ultra sweet fragrance. So for the person who asked me for a super girly girl fragrance, this one is the most appropriate in that category. It is a very youthful fragrance. It's borderline sexy. Think of La Nuit Tresor, but like a slightly more happy version and not like a seductive dark version. The top notes for this is apple, peach, plum, and pineapple. Middle notes of rose, lily of the valley, and jasmine, and the base notes of vanilla, tonka, cedarwood, and patchouli. Honestly speaking, like yes, the base notes kind of make sense in this, but all the top notes together, it's very perfumey. So I can't really tell you how it smells like. It smells like candy, it smells like biscuit, it smells of florals, it smells a little bit fruity as well, all mixed with that base of vanilla and tonka with some patchouli. That's the best way to describe it if you do not know how La Nuit Tresor smells like, right? But think of a younger, fresher sister of La Nuit Tresor and you'll have your Jazzab Gold. This is like 10 out of 10. Beautiful fragrance. Every time I want to feel like a girly girl, every time I want to feel youthful, every time I want to feel like, especially when I'm hanging out with my girls, this is like the kind of perfume I like to wear. This one, Haya, Silky Rose, these are the kind of like the breakfast with the girls or high tea with the girls kind of perfume. What a pretty fragrance, and it projects like crazy, like 3 to 4 feet, and also the longevity is surprisingly 7 to 8 feet, and it's a dirt cheap perfume if you can find it. Of late, I've been seeing this everywhere, so I think it's made a comeback. Arda Zafran was like, "There's demand. Let us provide everybody with the new batch." Mine is an old one. It's a super macerated one, so it lasts for the longest time. Next, we have one from Khadlaj, and this is the Aura Crisp Flower. This is from their sub branch called Lafidi. This smells exactly like the name. It smells like crisp flowers. It smells like a crisp apple. Is there apple? No, there's no apple. But for some reason, like in the beginning, you feel not apple. I know what it is. It has pear, the crispy pear. It literally smells like you just cut the pear and how that crispy feeling you get while cutting the pear. And that juice that is released a little bit when you cut, it starts off like that. Along with the top notes of bergamot and peach. I don't really smell the peach that much. It's more like that bitterness of the peach, but in a very, very mild fashion. So don't get scared, because I know that people like me who hate that bitter peach smell, right? Then you have the middle notes of jasmine and peony, and you can smell both jasmine and peony, but it's slightly soapy. And then the base of vanilla, musk, and vetiver. It is not a revolutionary fragrance, but it's just like the right combination of the florals and the fruits. The fruits, although they smell a little artificial, they still smell a little crisp and juicy. I cannot describe it. Like, it literally smells crisp. So I like the fact that they named this fragrance crispy flower. Crispy. Why would anybody call it crispy flower? Crisp flower, right? So yeah, if you want like a very easy to grab fragrance that has pear, if you like the note pear mixed with like jasmine and peony, if you like those kind of fragrances along with your base notes of vanilla and musk, so good. It's very generic. It's very, you don't have to think too much, grab and go, but girly girl. I had given this a rating of 7.5 out of 10. I'm going to stick to that because it is like going too much into a generic category, It's going very like, those tons of floral perfumes that had come in the market like La Vie Belle, Flower Bomb, all those, it's kind of going in that direction. So that's why for me, this is like a 7.5. I'm getting tempted to give it 8 because the more I'm smelling it, the more I feel like wearing it now. Probably because it's like hot summer outside, but this will be more appropriate for spring. The projection is like 2 to 3 feet, and the longevity for this one is still a little weak. I would say like 6 hours, not more than that. And since we're talking about Khadlaj perfumes, let's just get this out of the way. This is your Hareem Al Sultan EDP. This is your gummy bear florals. You think of girly girl perfume, this comes to mind immediately, right? I mean, this one, and I guess for me, Jazzab Gold. Jazzab Gold was the first one that came to mind when somebody asked me for the girly girl fragrance. This is a very calm girly girl. She's not like the bubbly, peppy girly girl. Although it smells like your gummy bears in the opening, the florals are a little bit more prominent. It's slight bit powdery as well. And it smells a little bit vintage. It smells like, Yardley comes to mind, or Bridgerton comes to mind. Like, those kind of things are coming in my mind. But think of all those Bridgerton girls, like the young girls. It's like one of them would be wearing this for sure. But at the same time, because it has that like gummy berry like kind of scent, it's a little peppy as well, But in a calm way, like quite naughty, Guys, if I'm not telling the prices for any of the perfumes, I'll still put it on the screen, right? This one is around $50 or $55. So the top notes are rose and bergamot. The middle notes are nutmeg, jasmine, and amber, and the base notes of agarwood, sandalwood, and patchouli. I wouldn't go by any of these notes because it doesn't smell like any of those. It's a very perfumey fragrance, so it doesn't smell natural at all. Like if I'm telling you the opening is like gummy bear, you can imagine, right? It's a very artificial, literally opening a pack of Haribo gummy bears, smells like that. And then like mild florals with musk follow. That's it, that's this perfume. But it's something you have never smelled before. That's why Hareem Al Sultan is so freaking popular. Just because like you have never smelled a perfume like this before. By the way, a lot of fake ones are popping up. A lot of people are copying the perfume, and I've seen like weird stuff, like people are using even the name and coming up. Just to let you know, you have Hareem Al Sultan oil and you have Hareem Al Sultan EDP from Khadlaj. These are the originals. The rest all, please ignore them, because I don't want you guys in the future to buy something and then it's a completely different perfume, right? 10 out of 10, of course. Projection, 2 to 3 feet. Longevity is insane, 8 plus hours. Stays on your skin like forever. But if you want that initial blast of gummy bear, you need to spray this every 6 hours. Next we have Latafa's Haya. This one is like the epitome of a girly girl fragrance. Actually no, Jazzab Gold was the epitome. This one also, again, it's like pink champagne, strawberry, brunch with the girls or high tea with the girls. But you're in a garden full of flowers, in a gazebo, the sun is shining but the weather is cool and the garden is like full of like white florals. Like this is what the perfume smells like to me. It is so beautiful, and you're sipping on like strawberry champagne, you know, champagne, pink champagne with strawberry dipped in it, and you're biting on the strawberry and drinking the champagne. Oh my goodness, such a pretty fragrance. I am absolutely completely obsessed with this perfume. Just to get it out of the way, this perfume lasts like 5 to 6 hours only. So the longevity of this perfume is like not good at all. But because it's cheap, I don't mind spraying it again and again. I've used up quite a bit of it. It's one of those fragrances that I gravitate towards a lot during spring and summer. More during summer when it's really hot, because it just makes me feel peppy and fresh. I'll be making another video of like peppy fragrances, like, you know, refreshing fragrances, or I don't know what to name it, you know, let me know what I should name it, but these will be like the very refreshing, very peppy fragrances. I don't want to call it summer fragrances, right? Because these are the perfumes that make you happy, right? This is one of them, by the way. The top notes for this are pink champagne, pink berries, blood orange, and pink freesia, everything pink. Middle notes of gardenia, vanilla, orchid, and jasmine, and the base notes of praline, amber, and sandalwood. Oh my word, it's such a beautiful fragrance. Spring, summer for sure, very feminine. Think of having pink champagne with strawberries and then you're surrounded by a lot of florals in a garden. That's what this perfume smells like. It's not like overpowering at all. It's very mild, but at the same time, people will notice you because you'll smell super pretty and super girly girl. For me, this is like now a 10 out of 10 fragrance. Gosh, good thing I have like a pen and paper right now in front of me because I need to start changing all my notes. Next, of course, we have Silky Rose. Mohara Silky Rose. This is again from Latafa. The bottle is super cute. And the perfume is a pink rose and lychee fragrance. This, every time I smell this perfume, I keep falling in love with it. Like again and again and again. It is, if you like lychee and rose done the right way, and if you do not want the Delina vibe, right? Delina is something I stay away from. All the flankers, all the dupes, even the original. I'm not very fond of that Delina perfume at all. This is a soft, pleasant rose and lychee fragrance. Again, just like Haya, this one doesn't have longevity. Again, 6 hours is like stretching on this. The projection, however, in this is like 3 feet at least. You spray this, everyone's gonna smell you. Lychee, I would say, is a prominent note. Rose is there, but not like a very overpowering rose. It's a modern rose, not vintage, not grandma, which is why, you know me, I don't like rose fragrances. Usually, like even like normal rose fragrances like Infinity Rose or Velvet Rose also, I liked it initially for layering, but it's just been sitting on my shelf somewhere over here, you know. I will probably be decluttering that as well soon or sooner or later, depending on how many perfumes I have. But I don't like rose fragrances. I don't lean towards them. But this one is something that I am nuts about. Quite a bit of perfume is already gone, if you can see. The top notes are rose, pink pepper and lychee in the opening. Middle notes of rose, musk and lily of the valley. And the base notes of musk, vanilla and patchouli. So what it is to my nose, think of lychee as a dominant note with musk. And then you have a hints of roses and vanilla in the middle. And the dry down becomes more like a combination of lychee, rose and musky notes. Very pretty, very cutesy. Think of a girl wearing a pink frock or a pink summer dress or something. Something that is airy, but she has her hair open, you know. Beautiful fragrance. 10 out of 10 again for me. This is again spring, summer, daytime perfume and very girly girl indeed. Next we have a perfume that I don't like too much. Okay, but I'm putting it in this video just because it is a girly girl perfume. It's probably like one of the most girly girl fragrances ever. And that's the Rave Now. Now, I know a lot of y'all love this perfume and a lot of y'all do not like this perfume. I am one of the people who does not like it. This is a dupe for the elixir version of Burberry Her. Now, I know a lot of y'all like it. And when I had reviewed this perfume, I had got such dirty comments. Of course, I hide the comments because I don't want to see negativity. There were not too many people, there were few of them, but some of them really attacked me. Like they went all out with their attacks and it was quite hurtful to see those comments. But I just hide these comments. YouTube has given creators an option to hide people because in future, it's just for your own mental health and everything. You don't want people attacking you. Healthy criticism is a different story. Disagreeing with the perfume being liked or not liked, because perfumes are very, very subjective, that's healthy. And even telling me I'm doing something wrong but in a decent way is absolutely fine. But if you attack me, if you comment on other people's comments that this lady does not know what, you know, like, and in a very nasty way, not even I'm using good words right now, I will block you. Unfortunately, I can't block people, you know, I can just hide them. So they still get the opportunity to watch my videos, but when they comment, I can't see their comments. I don't know if you guys can see those comments or not, but I can definitely not. And I don't want to see those comments. This is an ultra sweet fragrance. So people describe this as a strawberry marshmallow fragrance. It is a very strawberry marshmallow fragrance, but it is ultra sweet and ultra artificial. I also get like a slight plasticky feeling in this, which is why I do not like using it. Now, when I'm smelling it like this, I like it, but I will not wear it. I would love to smell this on somebody else. It's just that when I'll wear it, I'll probably get nauseated. I'm going to get migraines. And this is one of those sweet fragrances that does not have something to cut it. Cut the sweetness, you know, like I say, when you make a dessert, you add a little bit of salt just to cut the sweetness, you know. This one doesn't have any of that. Let me tell you the notes. The notes are red fruits and orange. Middle notes are marshmallow, lily of the valley and jasmine. And the base notes are vanilla, musk and moss. It smells a lot like, instead of red fruits, I would say it smells more like strawberries, you know. And then yes, it is very fluffy, marshmallowy, very vanilla-like. You smell white florals, but like in a perfumey way, not like actual white florals or indolic florals or anything. So this is a very perfumey fragrance. It does, like, when people compare this to Baccarat Rouge, I understand why. Because it does smell a little bit fluffy and ozonic. So while I personally don't like this fragrance, it is definitely a very girly girl fragrance and I would still rate this as a 8 out of 10. You know, it's a nice perfume. I just will not wear it right now. I will try, guys. Even, you know, after that video, I actually wore this perfume a lot because I was like, am I wrong? Am I mistaken? You know, but then there are other people who always comment also. So we have like shared taste and our skin chemistry is probably similar and everything. So this perfume doesn't sit well with them either, you know. Anywho, the projection for this is like 2 to 3 feet and the longevity is like, it's very, very good. It's like 7 to 8 hours for sure. 7 hours for sure. Let me not push it to 8 hours. 7 hours, the last time I tried it, it was giving me 7 hours. It is macerating and getting a little bit more ozonic. Like normally you expect after maceration, perfumes would get like deeper. This one is getting a little bit more ozonic, which is a good thing, by the way. This I think you can wear anytime during the year, anytime during the day. It is, however, a very girly girl fragrance. Next, we have a perfume that was not received very well, but I personally like it. I will admit it has a note in the background which is slight bit irky. I don't know what it is, but it comes during the middle notes and then stays towards the dry down. This is Sakeena. Can you see the lettering? I'm trying to... Yeah, okay. I'll just take all of it out because that way I will not get upset. There you go. That's better. This is Sakeena, and this is like a drink, a juicy, fruity drink with berries. It's like a whole lot of fruits actually like mushed together, and then you make it in a soda form, you know, but you have those mushed... What is that called? Isn't that mojito? I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at cooking and making all these things, okay? And I've never been a bartender in my life, so I don't know. But it's basically those crushed fruits, you know, and then you put it in like a fizzy drink. It is so strong. This perfume is probably one of the strongest fruity fragrances I have. It feels very syrup-like. So, you know how you have grenadine juice that you put in drinks and stuff? It kind of smells in that category, like that thick syrupy feeling. It could actually be one of those drinks that I have come across, and I don't remember what the name is. But the top notes are mandarin. Then you have ozonic accord and passion fruit. So the opening, think of it as mandarin, orange and passion fruit. Then you have orange flower, rose, sea salt and raspberry in the middle. And the base notes of vanilla, praline, toffee and vanilla. So all that thickness and sweetness is of course coming from the praline and toffee and the vanilla. But the top notes, yes, while it does have that orangey feel of mandarin and the passion fruit, like that's why you think like it's like some form of a drink or something. There are other notes in this that I can't describe. It's saying it has sea salt. Maybe it's that ozonic note with the sea salt that's giving me that irky feeling a little bit, and I think that's what's bothering people. It smells a little bit cold and metallic. Same feeling you get from Ajwat, Roses Varil, but in this it's like very mild. But there's something very alluring about this perfume. It's definitely a girly girl fragrance, guys. It's a girly girl who is a little dominating girly girl, you know. The more I smell it, the more berry, the more red the color that you think of is this. You think of dark fruits, juicy fruits, thick syrupy feeling. The rose is also there, yeah. But this is one of those fragrances that you need to try before you buy it, because this is not going to be for everybody. For me, this is an 8 out of 10. It's a very unique fragrance. And yes, I will not pull it out all the time. I will not gravitate towards it like all the time. But when I wear it, it just makes me very happy. So yeah, that's Sakeena for you. Projection is like good 2 to 3 feet. Longevity, I would say, is like 7 hours. I was going to do 15 perfumes, but I'm going to do 13. And then I'm going to honor mention 2 perfumes, okay? So the last one is Eclaire by Latafa. This is your dupe for Bianco Latte. This is Tres Leche Toffee perfume. Some people would consider this to be juvenile, but for me this is like a pure edible gourmand. People, when they smell this, either they'll think of Tres Leche, or they will think of Dulce de Leche, or they will think of toffee, or they'll think of Eclaire, literally the dessert. Some people might even associate this with some kind of milkshakes and stuff. So you know where I'm getting at, right? It's a very cozy, warm, again very thick. That's why the toffee comes to mind. Like for me, literally a toffee, you know, the toffee candy, when you eat it, you know that thickness, the thick juice you get in your mouth when you're, you know, chewing it. I guess that's the caramel, right? The top notes for this is caramel, milk and sugar. Middle notes of white flowers and honey. And the base notes of vanilla, praline and musk. So they have like literally put everything except for caramel. No, caramel is there as well. So it's like all the gourmand notes in one, right? It smells beautiful. Okay, initially when you spray it, yes, it's a little overwhelming. But once it dries down, you smell like a snack. You smell so delicious. Between you and me, Ali does not like this perfume on me. He likes it when I wear this to bed, but he does not like it like if we are going out. He says it's a bit overwhelming. But I think it's because we are in summer right now, and although I wore this when it was not this bad over here, but still it was a little bit overwhelming. So this should only be worn in fall winter, because it's definitely very thick and very sickly sweet, right? The projection for this is like 2 feet, and the longevity is right now, I would say, is like almost there to 7 hours. It's still macerating, which is why I've not made an updated video for this one. This is definitely very feminine, very girly girl. It's very youthful, not juvenile. You know, none of these fragrances I spoke about today was juvenile. My rating for this is a 9 out of 10. I'm getting tempted to give it more, but once it macerates, I'll let you know how it performs and everything, and then I can give you like a proper rating. So those were my 13 perfumes. Girly girl. Now the 2 honorable mentions, and the reason why I'm not putting them in a full format is because one of them is discontinued, which is Eternia Woman by Armaf. That's the lighter one. This is a dupe for Poison Girl, the most girly girl perfume ever. So this should have ideally been in the top like 13 perfumes that I have, girly girl perfumes. But because it's not easily available, I don't want to shove it in everybody's faces that I have this bottle and you don't. Nana boo boo. And the other one is Opera, Loch Noir. Rose Loch. I did not put this because I used Silky Mora instead of this one. This is slightly more powdery, so it is less girly girl than Silky Mora, which is why I gave preference to Silky Mora in this one. This is a little bit more powdery and a slight bit vintage leaning. So this might not go completely in the girly girl format, but it does give out that vibe. It does give out this innocent girl, you know. So these 2 are honorable mentions. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure this was very long. I'm going to try and make it cut, chip. Try to make it under 40 minutes, yeah? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.